I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin. In this video, you will see the hottest crypto news of today. Nothing in this video is financial advice. It is for entertainment purposes only. Digits Club just announced its new partnership. We now got two partners, Unix Gaming and Anypad. So basically, we will have the opportunity to bring decentralized allocation for projects directly to Digits Club. If you want to know more, join Digits Club Discord through the link in the description below. No need to stake tokens, nothing like that. Priority perks for a priority community. The whole crypto is down a little bit. Bitcoin is a little bit volatile last couple of hours, right? It was already quite volatile as of the last 4 or 5 hours, but in the last hour it took quite a plunge. I was waiting to record this video, and that is what happened. 43.5K. Ethereum at around the 3K mark right now. However, crypto gaming is making significant leaps, and that's what I want to focus on. That is what we always focus on. The top 100 coins, some green, mostly red, right? We look at the 7-day average. I think that's one of the more important indicators to focus on. And we're looking at more and more red. We'll look at the fear and greed index in a second, but IOTAX, important to consider. They launched on Twitter, they announced on Twitter the IOTAX Pad IDO, which is obviously now confirmed. It was postponed once, and it will officially launch on the 10th of March. So we can definitely see a bullish pattern on IOTAX, the main token, when IOTAX Pad, the Launchpad, will launch in the next 2.5 weeks. So do keep that in mind. 1inch, again, back in the top 100 tokens after not making significant gains, but other tokens are basically losing a lot of value, and 1inch takes advantage of this. When we look at the fear and greed index, basically we see a neutral area, actually, surprisingly, but it doesn't take into consideration the volatility of the last hour on Bitcoin, right? So it takes into consideration this stabilization period, which was, in my opinion, already quite volatile, but it's now in a small downward pattern. Across 7 days, you can definitely see that downward trend, that upward trend. But if you take the linear line, it's still basically at around just under the 44K stable, right? Across 1 month, 42.29. Definitely not as stable. We definitely have recovered from the most significant drop and now are in a more stabilization period for about the last week or so. So 1 week in crypto is obviously a very long time already, because things change by the hour, as you can see. However, when it comes down to gaming, there are some interesting finds. So one thing I want to stress, or at least show you, is the fact that influencers in this space have a lot of power, right? Alex Becker uploaded a video yesterday calling out 5 coins, which he didn't do so for like 2 or 3 weeks, and all of a sudden these coins pump like crazy, right? It wasn't as significant of a pump as we usually see, but still they hold quite some influence. I never take action on these calls usually, because you're always too late, right? People have already filled up their bags, insider knowledge, and I don't think it's anything bad with the influencer game or nothing like that, nothing to blame on them, but focus on longer term plays. Don't focus on these quick flips, because most likely you'll be more wrong than right. If you play a long-term game, you will be more right than wrong, in my opinion, just from my personal experience. Decentraland, Mana, 5% up, but the weekly 5% down. And I want to look at the weekly numbers. So Ultra creating a 5% gain. Vulcan, one of my favorite movers lately, right? I've been definitely looking into when Bitcoin strikes down, I'm going to put a large majority of cash. I was thinking about $25,000, $50,000 into Vulcan just for a swing trade, let's say from 11 back to 14, and then take it out again. I think Vulcan has a lot of potential in terms of short-term swings. I have announced this a couple of times, right, in the videos, but I've never really taken action on it, and I do see that pattern. Then I'm very much interested in the gaming guilds, but we're quite bullish when we see the green numbers on a day-to-day, right? Before we saw like the 90% gains on Gala, all this rapid gains, right? But do note, then when these gains have been accumulated, there's definitely quite a big correction, right? Because it's going from like 34, 38 back to 28, right? So it's losing again 25% of its value. That's in like a 2-day period, 3-day period. So these gains are not as significant as you might see. So when we go and zoom out, you can see the hardest period has been done, but we're nowhere near the November period, right, which was like extremely bullish. Might that happen again? It might, right? We are prepared for it, or at least I am prepared for it. I have large amounts of coins and stables, and definitely moves can be made if that opportunity presents itself. I just don't know if it will anytime soon. There are a lot less interesting gaming projects to cover. Recently, in the last couple of days, I've covered a lot of early finds, right? No white papers, no tokenomics, right? And that's basically because significantly less games are being launched at the moment. Defina Finance was one of the calls, right? And you can see definitely a clear pump. But these are artificial pumps and they don't last. So it's pumping the same way people will take profit and it will be crashing. These artificial pumps by any major announcement, it doesn't have any added value for the longevity unless it gets like mass adoption. So gameplay benefits, extension, future partnerships, all the boring things that we might say like are not good for the pumps are good for the longevity of the project. Splinter Shards actually quite good, 10% over the last 7 days. Krobata, the favorite, slowly slowing down. I did read that the play to earn mechanics have become significantly reduced, but still very attractive compared to other projects. Merit Circle, the guild, quite stable. Mines of Delania, I think, was pumped by Becker in his video. I didn't see the video myself, but definitely some quite aggressive ups and downs even over the last 7 days. So the crypto gaming, to summarize, highly volatile still, which is quite unfortunate because this is definitely our space, and definitely wouldn't be in a situation, except for perhaps swing trades, where I would consider making any significant entry right now, or even just play around in it. It's way too volatile, and that's more like gambling than a clear analysis, right? So definitely not interested in that. The Launchpads. So we got Superfarm making gains again. So obviously the call that we made quite some time ago already at about, is that like already longer than 7 days ago? Yeah, I think we made the call here. So that's like already a week and a half ago at about 80 cents. And we got in, it shot up, then it went down, and now it's up again. Because I think very soon, I think tomorrow or later today, the announcement for Imposters is coming. So Imposters, see, there's already a fake account. I'm following the real account, so yeah, this is the real one. Play Imposters, and the other one is fake. So if you go to the actual website of Imposters, there will be a countdown, and it's basically going to be announced in 4 hours how you can get whitelisted, and therefore the coin is pumping because Imposters is the game of Superfarm, right? And I'm very bullish. I mentioned it several times. It's quite expensive to get in. An online multiplayer social deduction game developed and published by Superfarm. They're going to do some crazy shit. They have made major announcements in private communities like Neo Tokyo, which I'm a part of, but also in the LA Trades community, that they're building something really cool. And it has been obviously quite low-key so far, but I'm sure Superfarm will deliver. And the pump in the token is basically because whitelisted users, there's no official announcement, this is just hearsay, whitelisted users will spend Superfarm to and about $3,000 per mint, and public sale will use Ethereum, right? So 1 Ethereum basically. And when we go to OpenSea, I don't know if we can see Superfarm inside the top 100 right now, but Superfarm Genesis NFTs would give you a whitelist spot. No, I don't think. Yeah, here they are, 98. So you can see definitely a lot of increase in traffic. Just note that the lower 2 NFTs are not eligible. So the names, the Jess and the Falcon, are not eligible. You need one of the other ones. And then we can see the floor price, about 2.6 Ethereum right now. You're obviously 4 hours out of the announcement, so this is the highest one. I got in quite high myself at about 2.4 Ethereum, I think, a couple of days ago, last week. But I think 2.5, 2.6 at that point doesn't really matter. You're going to spend about $8,000. I have this one. I think this one is the coolest one. But basically, I'm holding this NFT for the long term because Superfarm is going to come out with a lot more things. And these Genesis Collection NFTs do give access to those things, right? So definitely bullish on that. Definitely an interesting opportunity. But that's basically why the coin specifically is pumping right now, as predicted by your boy Digits before. All of the other Launchpads quite suffering, quite bleeding, right? There's nothing really to say that we don't already know. You see Launchpads losing like 31% of their value. It's a fucking nightmare. 38%. Right, these are bleeding money right now. It's like significant to such an extent where you basically wonder, will they recover? Soul Cubator losing 80% of its value. I think that has to do with something else. I don't think that's like normal market behavior. This chart also doesn't really look healthy. There's like huge influxes, huge dumps. I don't really know what's going on there, but losing 60% of your value in the last 24 hours, that's definitely a very, very bad sign. Even the bigger Launchpads, you know, sacrificing 10, 20% of their value, it's just that the pattern that it continues, that the market is bearish, right? The Fear and Greed Index might point to normal behavior. You might see some Bitcoin pumps, but the longer it's not bullish, the Launchpads become more bearish, right? Because they need a healthy market to launch IDOs. And these IDOs are not being filled. So today I was following on AnyPad because we announced a partnership, right, with Digits Club. And if you're not a Digits Club member, you should be. They launched Meta Oasis. As you can see, I'm not in the whitelist because I decided not to participate. I don't think this is an amazing project. So definitely doesn't mean people already calling me out. Oh my God, you signed a partnership with AnyPad. You're being sponsored. They pay you money. Shut the fuck up. I never take any money for any videos that I make on this channel, as I've always said. But even in that, I have a partnership with them regarding AnyPad, the Launchpad. Doesn't mean I'm going to participate in every launch. This is my personal money, and the partnership is a business partnership, right? My private money, if I don't think it's a cool game, then I'm not going to join. And as you can see here, I actually didn't join. One of the bearish patterns you can see in the market, that it didn't even fill up the entire allocation. So there's 3 hours and they will do a first come, first serve. So I'm sure it will fill up, right? I'm not doubting that. But on the initial round of the people that showed interest, out of everybody that showed interest, 25%, assumingly on the allocation, did not participate, right? When we go to Seedify, even Seedify being one of the tier 1 launchpads, they're struggling to fill allocation, right? So Battleverse is coming up. I covered this one in a great video, in my opinion. Very, very excited about this project. But the last project they did, so the private round for Battleverse, which was completed earlier, right? Great project. I think I'm very bullish on it. Only reached 53% of the fill, and the fill is only like 150k, right? So they're only going to raise 150k and they can't even fill up the allocation. Plutonians is now full because they did 2 or 3 first come first serve rounds to get it completely filled. Before, even this one is not even filled. After 3 first come first serve rounds, or 2, it's not filled. It's crazy, but it's actually not crazy here. Cybertrade didn't get filled. It's actually not that crazy because there's a lot of people who want to de-risk, right? They don't want to participate in long vestings when the market is bearish. I'm not that kind of guy, right? I'm still looking for good projects. I mean, I like Battleverse, I like Tojoverse, I like Shark Race Club, I like Animalia. I just didn't like Plutonians. So I skipped this one. Battleverse is great. Definitely a lot of opportunity here. Altava I'm going to skip because I don't like that one at all. But there's still a huge opportunity. But if the allocations do not get filled, that's bad for the Launchpad, bad for the projects, bad for the entire Launchpad market in general. And that's basically what I wanted to stress. Overall, a pattern that we're seeing. That's why these Launchpads are suffering. That's why the token values are going down. which, to be fair, brings a great opportunity to buy into the high tiers, right? So my first partnership with Digits Club was Unix gaming, right? Which is still like extremely high value. So we got in at about 19 cents. When we made the announcement, it just started running, because obviously all Digits Club members, they jumped on Unix, and since then it has recovered really well. When everybody told me like, oh, Unix gaming, they don't even have the Launchpad yet, blah, blah, blah. You guys, don't be short-sighted. In a bearish pattern market, you need to look at the next 6 to 8 months, right? 6 to 12 months. They're going to launch Commonverse. I'm not even whitelisted. I've staked my tokens already. So if you go to staking, I can even prove it, right? I don't mind. It's about $20,000. So where do I see my stake tokens? Oh, my wallet is not connected. So, but I have about, I have 20,000, just 20,050 tokens. So I have the legendary tier, right, on their Launchpad. Why? Because obviously we have the partnership, so I do believe in their entire ecosystem and everything. But I also think that the IDOs they have coming up are really, really interesting, right? So Commonverse is the big one. It's already like a big IGO, so they're going to start off big, and I'm going to participate in this. But I will cover this in a separate video to come. But that's basically a very interesting one because they're not going to raise that much money, but they have to do well. It's the first one for a brand new Launchpad in a bearish pattern market. So I'm very excited to see how that goes, because although we have partnerships, you know, my opinion, my personal opinion is still my opinion. We all know what happened with this project. I said it would go down to 2 cents. It actually held quite good at 2.4 cents. So it didn't go down that bad, but this is still bad. This is half IDO price right now. And a lot of coins, they suffer, right? Whoa, monkey ball. I think, what the fuck happened here? 20% gain. All right, congratulations to the monkey ball team. But we can definitely see this pattern, right? The recovery will happen in a bullish market, and with this market the recovery will just not be significant. I'm happy for them that they made a 20% gain today, but I don't think that's like a normal pattern. Maybe that was an announcement or something, or Alex Becker shilling them. Okay, Genopads, we're looking at a disaster, right? One time the value was $37, right now $7. And for these projects, you basically see the same pattern. That's something myself, I'm starting to realize that although we see high ups, right? We do see significant gains in the short term. The market pattern is quite clear. All these Solana blockchain games have the same pattern. When you go more into the micro cap, things change, right? Things are way more volatile. That's why they're more risky. So where the other one slopes down, this one has like a significant drop, probably on the vesting, right, on the 5th. And then it has like a peak here on a game launch. And that's basically how it goes. But in general, 3 months, again, same bearish pattern. And that's not going to say anything about this game in a long term, right? This is just all short-term focused. And we should have a longer-term vision when the market is bearish, in my opinion. And the opportunities are still out there. I'm not big of an NFT guy, but now I'm getting into Imposters with NFTs. I have branched out my Neo Tokyo portfolio in terms of NFTs because the game continues, right? If there's not that many launches on Launchpads, which is like my bread and butter, right, what I focus on, I will still participate in the IDOs, the strategic rounds, the private rounds, anything I can get my hands on with I think has potential. However, if we look at the categories, there's a lot of red and very little green, and that has been consistently happening. So until things start pumping again, you, or at least in my opinion, need to find a way to make money out of your investments without having to hope for a bullish market, because that's not always the case. You need to be able to make money in a bearish market as well. So things to consider: staking, yield farming, all these type of things might be interesting. And I'm here to document my journey on this channel with how everything is going. So that's everything for the news today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. See you then again. Bye.